Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Sandesh, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
yeah. Nice to meet you, Shobit, after a long time. Yeah,
Yeah. So excited to get into your experience with the intentional job search program, all the amazing things that have happened, the things that you went through. And look, people who are watching this, they're often considering, hey, what is intentional job search? Should I enroll? Should I talk to Shobit? All those sort of things. So that's going to be your audience as we go about it. Cool. So to begin, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
sure, Shobit. So, I'm a product manager currently working at Mashreq Neo, which is a neobank in the MENA region situated at Dubai.
Hmm.
So, I take care of the product development, the app management, building the new cool features for the neo banking team, and managing the roadmap and building new cool stuff, which will cater to the demands of the new market. So, yeah, that's what I currently do.
Love it. Love it.
And before that, I'm just like a typical product manager, so a comp science engineer who had spent a couple of engineers in coding and then got into an MBA from IIM and then got into multiple jobs and eventually switched to a product management domain.
Yeah. And just for folks who don't know, IM is Indian Institute of Management, which is the top MBA program in India. Just so
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
where where
yeah.
where Sandesh came from. Cool.
Yes.
So Sandesh, tell us first of all, um, what search?
Sorry, Shobit, I just couldn't hear the last question. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sandesh, why don't you tell us what brought you over to intentional product manager?
Yeah, so yeah, that's a great question. Uh, so I was working in Dubai, and then I was doing fairly well, but then the market had limited opportunities. So I was trying to explore, considering my background in computer science engineering and an MBA. I always thought my true calling is in tech company,
Hmm.
and something the current market had limitations. The Dubai market and the UAE MENA market doesn't had many opportunities within UAE itself for the tech companies. Although there are few companies which are acquired, like Amazon has a presence through acquisition of Souk.
Hmm.
Uber has a presence through acquisition of Kareem, but those are far and few, and the tech roles are really limited. So I thought, why not to expand? And this was before COVID, so I was trying to explore things which are working outside UAE, especially in the markets of Europe and Singapore. So I was applying to different roles in these markets. Sometimes recruiters were reaching out to me to have that chat, either in roles in Singapore or Germany or Amsterdam. So these were the typical markets recruiters were reaching out. I was giving on and off interviews, and I was not focusing on. I was not dedicated enough to crack those because I was doing fairly well, and that killer instinct was missing, to be honest. So I was just applying, and then in the thinking that it might get clicked. So some places I reached like almost like 5 to 6 interviews. So this was start of like 2020 before COVID hit. So I had like 2 3 good companies, fintech and big tech companies. But then eventually I used to get rejected. And when I used to ask them for a feedback,
Hmm.
that hey, I'm interested in these companies, but can you help me tell the feedback where I lacked or where I can improve so that I can target them? Because that's what I was curious to know, because I was getting rejected with standard automated template mailer saying, hey, thank you for interviewing with us, you can try again, let's say 6 months or 12 months down the line. But nobody told me that what is missing in me which I can improve, or what is the one thing which the recruiter or the company is looking out for the prospective candidates. So that was the missing link. And then one fine day, like a stroke of luck, so I saw one post on LinkedIn, which was posted by you, and then this piqued my interest. Hey, this guy is talking about something which resonates with me.
Hmm.
Although I was not doing it intentionally, that because I was just casually applying to companies and not doing it intentionally, and maybe that's why I was not focused enough to crack those big roles. So that's how I
Hmm.
landed up for, and then I set up for a quick call with Shobit, and then uh, what they say, rest all is history.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I love that. And I
Yeah.
mean, it was also a difficult time. I mean, COVID was on,
Yeah.
and everything was going haywire. The market was very different than today when we're recording it. I mean, COVID's still around, but the
Yeah.
market is definitely different. Um, so I'm curious, you saw the LinkedIn, we spoke, like what convinced you to pull the trigger? Like, was there something internal, something you wanted that convinced you to just, okay, this is it. I'm committing, I'll be part of the program and I'm going to do whatever it takes to land the next big opportunity.
Yeah. First of all, I must say that uh, yeah, you're the you're the one person who is like has the greatest convincing power in the world. Whoever I met, so uh, like I still remember the day, and my wife is still sitting here, and she can comment on this. So when I had that call with you, like a quick half an hour chat, this was late November, I believe,
Yeah.
and it was immediately after Diwali. So Diwali is the like the festival of lights in India. So and so I had that call, and then I barged in from my previous room to living room and asked her, "Where is my credit card? I just need it." So, so I asked her, and she was like, "Why do you need credit card now? What are you purchasing?" So she knows how I don't spend much money, to be honest. And even if I am buying a T-shirt or anything, I visit like 10 stores to buy my favorite shirt. So and she was like, I told that, hey, I need to pay this month, this sum of money. So she was like, are you mad or something? So, and how can you trust someone who are you meeting like for the first time? Then I told her, hey, I'm still on the call, although you're muted, but then I'll explain you later. That's what and she testify this, and she's laughing, and now I'm saying this. So, yeah, so that's how, and then I just entered the details and signed up for it. But then, jokes apart, what really resonated with me was one thing. You said the things which I was exactly looking for because I was interviewing with no direct, means I was receiving feedback from recruiter which was not direct, first of all.
Hmm.
It didn't had any actionable, means although I interviewed at fairly decent companies which are like mid-size, not the big techs, not the fang, but those were like fairly well companies, like almost like $1 billion revenue and all, but they
Yeah.
were not able to give me a succinct feedback which I can improve upon. So although there were valid concerns like visa sponsorship was limited because of COVID, but then at least they can tell me, hey, you can improve on these things. You did bad here, you did good here. So that was missing. And uh, and another important point, so I was doing it all alone, so I was looking for that uh, a, a direct feedback and kind of a community which will help me improve and which are in the same boat like me. So sometimes it tends to be a lone journey. So it took me back to and I was thinking that when I cracked CAT, so the admission, the entrance exam which fetched me admission for Indian Institute of Management. At that time, I was not a loner, so I was working with my friends who were staying in the same apartment. So and we were doing in a group. So I thought that, hey, that worked at least almost like 10 years back. So why can't I try something like a group study or something which will keep me motivated and help me crack that big role?
Got it. Got it. Love it. I love that. So,
Yeah.
tell us about, okay, you committed, and like I think one of the things of people that do commit is that they realize that their career is a long game, and there's just so much they can, like so much next level that they can get to, and you clearly recognize that. You were like, yep, I'm going for it. I'm going to go do big things. So tell us, when you started the program, like for you initially, what were the first few breakthrough moments where you were like, oh, wow, this is new and this is something that I'm learning from a lot? What were like some of the biggest early victories for you?
I think the biggest early victory. I think we signed up on the third week of November, and then the day. So when I signed up, you mentioned I asked you at the end that, hey, can we apply for Google? So you were like, and at that time you were working in Google, so you said, hey, let's apply it right away.
Yeah.
And you had a quick glance at my CV, and then you said, hey, it's all good, and let's apply, let's give it a try. So you asked for me like a couple of links where I was relevant enough. So, and I must admit, so I had applied previously, but I had never got tested success even to get the first recruiter screen. And immediately, like 1 week later, I was speaking to the Google recruiter. So that was the first
Wow.
instant success. So uh, credit where it's due. So obviously, you had written really nice words in the in the referral, so that's how I landed up that recruiter screen. And then eventually, that was my first major crack. And then Google PM interview for Zurich location happened. So that took like almost 2 months. So that was the first win.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. Love it.
yeah,
And and then as you went on, like let's just do the big reveal. Where are you headed, Sandesh? At the time we are recording, just so
yeah.
everyone knows, what are you going to be doing next?
Hey, so yeah, thanks to you, Sam, and the entire IPM community. So I'll be heading to London, my dream location, and I'll be joining the FANG company, which is Amazon. And to top it up, so I'll not be leaving my domain which I was working with. So I was working in a fintech domain within a bank. So I'll be joining the fintech domain within Amazon. I will be joining their payments and customer experience team.
Hmm.
This is a senior product manager technical role, the thing which I really loved, which I learned 10 years back. And this is for an international expansion role based out of London.
Yeah, that is so phenomenal, so exciting. I'm so happy for you that you did all the work required to land this role. And yeah, it's the location you wanted, uh, getting paid really well, FANG company, Amazon, and I loved how you also leverage your domain expertise, which sometimes people miss, which is that, hey, I've spent all this time, I have this industry knowledge, how can I be one leg up? And you very
Yeah.
successfully did that.
Yeah, so that was one thing which I really wanted to tap on, because something which I spent years on working, I actually wanted to solve the problems at a global scale. Because all previous to this, I was working with one of the largest banks in India, but and here I was working with one of the largest banks in UAE. But then I wanted to make it to the next level, wherein the things I'm building on impact the lives of millions. So, and Amazon is positioned to do that, because and Amazon Pay is one of the it has already tested success in multiple markets. So this is something which I was really passionate about. Even though I was not working with Amazon, I was really passionate about something which which came from India and which was scaled out to the outside world. So something coming from India and then scaling out. So that was something which I was really passionate, and I'll be working on such products. So that's like icing on the cake.
Love it. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Um, so so tell us, like as you've gotten to Amazon, what are some of the top things that really helped you to land this amazing opportunity?
Yeah, so like there were quite a few things, but then three things which come to my mind. First thing was direct feedback. So that was one thing. I was interviewing for so many places at one time, but then the direct feedback. So whenever I was making mistakes, so it's good to make mistakes when you're practicing with folks. Rather than making mistakes in the actual interview. So the direct feedback was the one thing which really helped me. Uh, Second thing was because I was practicing with folks who are like-minded and in the same boat like me. So I learned the mistakes which I can avoid when the D-Day comes. So
Hmm.
that I learned from when I had the different mock interview practices with the folks, and as well as the sessions with you and Sam. So mistakes I avoided. And third thing was the community itself. So like I mentioned at the start, so I was not a loner this time. So whatever, I was really happy when somebody cracked a big job, and I was equally sad when somebody missed it. So because all of us were in the same boat of cracking that elusive goal of a FANG job. So I made like really good friends, and now they are like best friends. So like that was the close knit community was the third thing. So like direct feedback, mistakes to avoid, and the close knit community. So those three will be my top picks.
Yeah. And like I want to recognize that you learned a lot from the community. You also gave back, and you continue to give back. You're now helping people land their Amazon things, and since you got your offer, two other people have landed also offers at Amazon, and they have mentioned you as, hey, this Sandesh really helped me out in my preparation and all the advice and everything. So it's really about the community and what we're building and how passionate are about people helping each other. I think it really makes a huge difference.
Yeah, yeah. So in these times, it's absolutely critical to help each others, because these are like desperate times and people are struggling to make ends meet. So I happy to contribute my 2 cents in and enjoying those moments.
Love it. So,
Yeah.
Sandesh, for people who are watching this video, and these might be people who are checking out intentional job search. They might have even spoken to me, maybe not. What message would you, or what messages would you give them?
Uh, I again like this is the thing which I learned from you. So I'll have three things to say to them. So yeah. So first of all, stop doing this all kind of certifications. First of all, so if you're already doing a product management job, you already know how to manage a product roadmap, how to build new products, how to manage your team. So these are the things which we already know. So don't spend money, and I would suggest rather don't waste your money on doing certifications, because those will not help you crack. No big company asks you certifications. So none of the interviewers. So I almost interview at every big company, and nobody asked me which certification you did. So first thing, don't waste your money on certification. Second thing, don't take this cost as a huge investment cost, because eventually, if you if I use my MBA jargon, so if you calculate the lifetime value of the investment, so it will be much higher. So don't take this as like you're spending a hefty amount of money right now. And uh, to be honest, it's not a hefty sum, because the jobs which we'll be cracking will be much bigger, and this will be like not even 1% of what you will be getting eventually. So don't take this as a huge investment to begin with. And third thing will be the community. So sometimes you've so you will find ample channels where you can practice with peers and all, but the first thing is breaking the ice becomes difficult, and that honest feedback also, it becomes transactional. So it doesn't come natural, because that close knit community brings that honest feedback. But
Yeah,
if you're doing like a transactional thing, so let's say I would not name few websites which are there, which do these kind of mock interview practices, and it's a complete market there. But then that transactional relationship doesn't yield in you reaching that elusive goal. So uh,
yeah,
that would be my third point. So a close knit community is what makes you stronger, and uh, makes you crack those big dreams.
agreed. And like I've seen some of the feedback that comes out, and people are trying to be too nice to each other, and they're not able to deliver that feedback in both a setting that, in a way that it's the brutal truth, but it also doesn't just shatter your confidence completely. So there,
Yeah,
and that only comes with, like, when you're working with the same people over and over again,
yeah,
and you see that improvement.
yeah. It's
Uh,
like, and if I may just add one last point. So
oh yeah,
it's
go
like
for it.
it's like working in a family. So like if you are in a family, you can say things without any inhibitions, without any biases, and you can tell it honestly. But if you're interviewing like different websites, so there it will be more of a transactional. People will say nice things, and it will not help you grow. So if you are making mistakes, it needs to be told upfront. So it's like family. So if you make mistakes, like when we were small kids, so our mom or dad used to scold us, because so that we improve and don't make those mistakes. So it's like that. So it's all in good jest, and which will help you make crack those big dreams.
Love it. Love it. Sandesh, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience with others. I think this is what gives people the confidence to take the leap and follow their dreams and go after something big. And I'm so excited for you, both for uh, the Amazon job, moving to London, all the exciting things coming your way, as well as continuing to working together on in the next phase of your career.
Yeah, yeah, really happy for all the expertise and advice I received from the community, and I'm happy to pay it back to the community as well. So, yeah,
Yeah, you might still see Sandesh when you're there, uh,
yeah,
when you're part of
yeah,
intentional job search. Yeah, great.
yes, yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Sandesh.
Thank you, Shobit.